PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
This is Feel the PEMF, the podcast about pulsed electromagnetic field energy. I am Andrew, sharing 20 years of experience, stories, and insights to help you discover the power of PEMF. Hey, this is Andrew with Feel the PEMF, and I wanted to make a quick video on what is PEMF therapy and why high power matters. PEMF therapy is a technology that's been around for a long time. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking electricity and we're putting it into a generator that kind of almost like turns it into a bolt of lightning. And then it is shot through these attachments that spin electricity and spin this energy into magnetic field. And it creates an impulse that uh, flops back and forth from pole to pole. And it sends this impulse of magnetic field out from the rings and up from the mats, up and down from the mats. So you get this energy that is actually smaller than electrons. And the energy is used for many things. Okay. The first thing PMF is used for is probably pain. Pain basically is electrical charges that travel from the area of pain to your brain. And if you can depolarize some of those pain signals, you'll experience less pain because the signals just won't make it to the brain. So you can actually use PEMF to depolarize pain signal. So a lot of people will put PEMF on. In a few minutes, their pain is decreased and it can help them with a lot of discomfort. The second thing is inflammation. A lot of people are inflamed, especially after injuries or surgeries or just wear and tear, chronic issues, things like that. But inflammation is necessary in the body. However, inflammation can hang around just too long, and it can be pretty, cumbersome if you have an injury and you have a knee that's swollen up and you need to get places. Inflammation is designed as a start of the healing process. But what happens is it ends up taking a long time for that inflammation to go down. And what PMF can do is it actually signals inflammation in your body to make decisions to repair, replace, um, detox, whatever is in that area. The PMF is going to send these signals to all those cells to go to work so that it just doesn't stay in limbo. So inflammation starts to bug out of the body that doesn't need to be there. Inflammation was always kind of handled with like ice and cooling the area and restricting blood flow. But PMF can actually help drive blood flow to an area. PMF can actually signal the inflammation to bug out rather than just icing something down and not letting blood get there to repair. All injuries will repair with because blood takes it there. So we don't want to stop that from happening. PMF is also great for circulation. It is well known in the industry for microcirculation, but basically just doesn't let the blood coin up and slow down throughout the system because all the blood cells are charged up and they're not going to stick together. They're going to actually repel one another and move along, and they're going to expose more oxygen receptors and deliver more oxygen throughout the body. So circulation does increase with PEMF also. And probably the number one reason for using PEMF in like integrative medical centers and chiropractic offices is basically the cell membrane potential. Cell membrane potential is basically the charge of the cell wall membrane that needs to be healthy in order for things to go out of the cell or into the cell. So if your charge is correct, You should be between -70, -90 millivolts or better, and you're healthy, active, things are gonna get in and out. When that charge drops to negative, 60, -50, -40, that's where a lot of, like, autoimmune likes to set in, and things just start to get slow. It slows down usually because of toxins that get built up in the cell membrane, and toxins then can make you sick, right? So when you drop -30 millivolts or less, that's where disease can set in, and basically it's very hard to get medicine into a cell or toxin out of a cell. With PEMF, the blast that we're talking about, that impulse hits the cell wall so hard that it makes the entire cell wall fluctuate, and it makes the sodium potassium pumps just go berserk, and the cell has to respond to that because it's got to keep the sodium potassium pump balanced, so it will start to open and close sodium potassium pumps also. So while all that action is happening on the cell membrane, the colliding of the magnetic field, it's cleaning that cell membrane, purging all those toxins out of the sodium potassium pumps, the cell wall. And when you turn the PMF off, then goes back to homeostasis, and the cell is left at a much better charge, the -70, -90 millivolts, where we want to be. So now these integrative doctors will do their IVs, their injections, and other regenerative medicine uh, modalities. This energy is going to hit you. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel something happen. In the next video, we're going to show you what PMF can actually help with.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this. PMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
Oh, welcome back. See what conditions respond best to high power PEMF. Number one, pain. Okay, in both types of pain, acute pain. You just were in a car accident or you were injured on the field, and you have this high intense acute pain. You can use PEMF to depolarize that pain signal and get more blood and oxygen to the area, which will also decrease pain. So it can be used acute. And then chronic pain is usually scar tissue and inflammation issues. So by fluctuating the scar tissue and signaling the inflammation to bug out, you can get a lot of that chronic pain to calm down also. So lots of uses with pain. Joints are we see a lot of joint injection therapies that people are doing. We see replacements. We see um, spinal fusions. We see disc issues. So anything with the spine, PEMF is fantastic for. In fact, when you go home from a spinal fusion surgery, they're going to send you home with a small PEMF device to help the bone grow back together and fuse what the doctor did um, after surgery. So PMF is very, very good for bone healing and the vertebrae and the spinal column. So um, bone is kind of elementary. It was the first FDA approval was non-healing bone unions. So basically, like helping fractures repair. And at the cellular level, it is just doing everything the bone needs to reharden and get stronger again. Neuropathy, basically, the only way to repair nerve is to fire it. And magnetic field can fire nerve. So when people have this neuropathy in their feet and hands, and it's numbness and tingling and burning, and it is very, very tough to, do any kind of modality. It's usually vibration or heat or ice, but magnetic field firing the actual nerve down into the tips of your toes helps your nervous system kind of wake up again, and it's very effective with all types of issues where neuropathy sets in. Anything post-surgical, basically we want to speed up healing. So if you can speed up healing, then there's less infection. Also, things can heal nicer, less scarring. And again, after fusions, the bone grows back together around the screws and things that they use. So very good for post-surgical recovery. Again, inflammation in general, everybody is inflamed. People eat the wrong foods, or they there's so many out different toxins around us and things that just inflame us. So, by signaling that inflammation to bug out, it is a great, great tool. Sleep, when you calm the nervous system down before bed, it's going to help you. Uh, Basically get more into an alpha state, a more relaxed state. And the jump start that we're using here is actually embedded with the Schumann resonance. So that's basically the Earth's frequency. And so when you ground yourself and earth yourself, it's easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Uh, the We do make some brain entrainment PMF equipment if there's some really chronic bad sleepers. We do have some equipment for that also. um, your nervous system basically sometimes it just gets stuck in these hyper modes where you can't relax, you can't sleep, and your mind races all night. So it's important to use PEMF to bring you back down to that alpha state so that you can get some sleep and calm that nervous system. Athletes like to use this for performance. You can use it pre-workout to where you're going to flood your muscles with oxygen and absorb your pre-workout supplements. You're also going to prevent injury because blood is getting to all those joints. And then after workout, all that lactic acid is secreted into the muscles. This is a great way to flush it out. And it's also a great way to get more blood to the area so that it can repair and rebuild what you just tore. So athletes love this equipment just for pre and post workout. And then if they do get injured, they have a tool that's ready for them to speed up the recovery. A recovery time on an athlete, it will speed up an injury recovery by 1/3 the expected time. So imagine a 6-week ankle injury and you use PEMF every day. You could be competing in 2 weeks. That's the power of PEMF and how much faster it can make your body heal after an injury because it helps skip a lot of the unnecessary steps, like packing a ankle in ice and slowing the whole process down. You just don't have to do that anymore. um, if this sounds like you, the next question is whether PMF is better done in the office, maybe where you heard about me, or at home. So we'll talk about that in the next video.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this. PMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
All right. So, if you're using PMF in the office now, or if you plan to use it at home, a lot of people will ask, is it the same? Do you get the same intensity as the office? Does it feel the same? Does it work the same? Or is it just like a knockoff, kind of like, yeah, just do it at home, but come into the office for the good stuff? Well, actually, it's the good stuff at home, and the good stuff in the office. If you have access to both, fantastic. But these machines that are smaller are designed to put the same exact energy that's in our big equipment at the offices. It's not as intense, but it is going to give you plenty of power. Some people can't even turn these small ones up all the way. I'm going to hit start on this right here just so you can get an idea of what it feels like. I know you can't feel through the computer screen, but I want you to watch my muscles fire here. I don't know if you can tell, but basically I'll hold my hand up so you can kind of see that I'm not doing this. This is making my hand jump. It is firing muscles, firing nerve, and it is not just a machine you turn on and lie down and hope something happens. This is actually firing muscle, firing nerve, and going through your entire body. The machine, the jump start is about the size of a tissue box. Okay. The doctor's offices would, they would need huge machines in the past to get any kind of muscle to fire. But we've brought our machines down to lighter, smaller, less expensive, and they're built well. They're just great machines, just like the machines that we use in the office. But now you can use them at home. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off so I can talk better. um, so what do you feel during this session? It feels just relaxing, comfortable. We actually have the Schumann resonance embedded in those big pulses. So it's actually calming your nervous system all the time. And the big pulses are on top to fire muscle, to work on the scar tissue, and to give you a sense that something is happening. And sometimes it'll hit areas of the body that are sensitive and you won't be able to turn it up this much. You'll have to start at the lowest intensity and then work your way to that, even with these home units. So you are getting, uh, a bang for your buck. Okay, literally. Um, the first session responses, you're going to feel relaxed. You'll feel less pain. You'll be able to, get to sleep. And you just feel better. If you feel like you have to do it again later because of pain, it's okay. Just stay hydrated. You could probably do PMF 3 times a day to help control pain. If you wanted to know how long this charge lasted, this charge will last about 3 days. So if you needed to go away for a weekend and you couldn't take it with you, well, do it Friday. You'll be charged all weekend. If you want to take it with you, it's small enough to take with you. They're safe to travel on airplanes and things like that. But I would say just get there early. You never know if TSA is going to want you to demonstrate it for them. There are some people that do a lot of PEMF therapy. When you get into autoimmune disease issues, they need to stay at the right charge the entire month. So they'll buy like 10 sessions at a doctor's office and go like twice a week to maintain the charge. If you have your home unit at home, you can just use it every day. But in general, I like people to experience about 10 sessions over a month's time, either in the doctor's office or at home. At home, do more. But otherwise, about a month of PEMF, you really start to notice the best results. But you will experience it, you'll feel it, you'll feel better immediately after the PMF session. But long-term stuff, I like to see people charged about a month, and they can start seeing those results. Good versus bad reactions. Um, Everything's pretty good. People are relaxed, they feel better. Bad reactions are going to be for the most ill people who are very toxic. So if you are toxic from any kind of therapies or treatments you had in the past, or you were exposed to toxins, maybe in the line of work that you were in, when toxins are in your body, and all of a sudden your cells are at the right charge, your cells want to kick them out. And when they come out, they need to go into your digestive tract and be flushed out with water. If you are dehydrated and you release too many toxins at once, then you could get a headache. You could get maybe an upset stomach. Maybe you're just tired. But just play it by ear. If you feel that way, back off a day, drink a lot of water, get your electrolytes up, and you'll feel okay. There's no like you know. Uh, Protocol to, feel better, but I would say treat it like a hangover. If you ever had a hangover, most of us don't run to the emergency room with a hangover. We just stay hydrated, get some Gatorade, and worst case scenario, we go get an IV to help with a hangover. But that's, to the extent of any bad reaction I've ever seen. Um, but let's see what some of the big questions are about these machines, and we'll answer those questions in the next video. Thanks.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this. PMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
Probably wondering why PMF equipment costs so much. And I got to tell you, for working with this company for over 20 years and seeing the pricing never increase on these big units, and actually, you know, it should have with inflation have gone up considerably over the years, but the manufacturer found a way to make it to keep them affordable, but also came out with smaller home units in different price brackets to accommodate different budgets. And now we're in the budgets where we're at now, and it's pretty much within reach with especially people who really need the equipment. Medical grade is important. Our manufacturer is a medical grade facility that it has regulation by the FDA in LA, which is nice because you don't have to deal with sending a machine overseas for repairs or service or replacement. Most consumer electronics are. So it's very tough to get any kind of service or replacement or repair work done. Very high intensity, great manufacturer, great service, and they really take care of all of my clients. The power output is basically your standard plug 110. We've built machines for 220 for machines going to Europe and things like that. They don't pull a lot of power, our digital ones or our spark gap ones. We've had some people that were using them on like solar grids. I have for my small units, I have like a battery pack that puts out quite a bit, and I'm able to plug that into a battery pack unit. It does not draw that much power at all. So there's some ways if you need to get mobile with these, but we have some people that use them in barns and horse trailers and things like that. So I get these questions from time to time. So if you need to be mobile with it, I can walk you through that also. Um, the build quality, safety, they're built, with steel boxes around them. These are metal heavy duty boxes. It's not just these plastic covers, the covering a computer board inside like most stuff. They're heavy duty. um they make them as safe as they can. Like some of the machines won't even turn on if you don't have the attachments plugged in right. If somebody pulls out an attachment, the machine will turn off. You can start them, you can pause them, you can digitally control the intensities up and down or with a knob to make it super easy. So the machines are built well and they're designed to be user friendly. We don't want only a doctor to be able to operate these machines. Because they don't. It's their staff that operates them. So we want to make them as easy as possible. My son, he's been operating the machine probably since he's like 5 years old, and it's super easy, to use, even for a child. I mean, it's very easy. Um, the longevity of these machines, they're designed to last 10, 20 years. If you take care of them, don't drop them, don't keep them dry. You can service the spark gap units from time to time. So, use a surge protector on our digital units, especially. Just make sure there's no surges going in. But everything can be repaired or, parts can be replaced. Services here in LA. The first 3 years, you're covered with parts and labor. You'll just pay some shipping back and forth. But um, uh, that they stand by the machines and they keep my customers up and running. Um, so, um, so it's up to you, if you want to use your own machine and feel confident that you have something quality at home, or if you just want to go and use the doctor's machine. Right now, either option is safe. And if you have any questions about that, I can help more with that also. Um, but we'll talk about it in the next video.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
EMF sessions in the office versus owning a home unit. What's better? Ah, let's talk about who should do in office. People in the office are going to be people who need a lot of power. So if your doctor has our strongest machines and they're doing a bunch of joint injections and they really want to break up some scar tissue, uh, go in, use the big, powerful units, charge up that shoulder, that knee, that elbow, that wrist, whatever it is that may be hurt, and you get some really good results with scar tissue and range of motion and getting back on your feet after an injury. That's I think where most people aren't going to buy big giant machines for home, because they'd rather just go use it while they need it, while they're in their recovery period after an injury. um, who should do home units? People who are worried about just their cell charge. And those people are usually going to be people who want to keep their charge at the right charge for a long period of time. So if you are, looking at an autoimmune issue, if you're working with your doctor with a disease of some sort, and you want to make sure that your charge is at the right level to improve treatments or to detox or to absorb nutrients, um, that's where people can use these at home. It's much more convenient also. People who have to travel to the doctor, some people come in hours away, or even flights into certain cities to see certain doctors, and they just can't take the big PEMF home with them. A small PEMF for them to use at home would be ideal. And that's just kind of the beauty of it, and it's convenient. If there's only a 2 o'clock appointment, and you can't get there at 2 o'clock, then you got to wait another day or another day. So sometimes it's the convenience of the scheduling at the doctor's office also. You just want to have your own machine and charge up at home. But also too, it's kind of like your own you know energy device for tons of things. So just to give you an example, in my own personal family, I have people that get headaches, I have people that get sinus infections, I have people that have cramps, I have people that have vision issues, I have people that are fighting heartburn. I mean, anything and everything you can think of happens in my family. I tell you that. And, the first thing I do is I break out the PMF device and we put it on the area. And, within minutes, there's some improvement. Sometimes they still have to take their over the counter stuff, but um, either way, it is some relief. Maybe some of your kids are athletes. Maybe they get, scraped up, bumps, bruises, fractures. Maybe they're in a cast and they want that cast off faster. So um, the machine is not just for whatever you are using it for, but it's for the entire family. So it does justify having that home unit because you can use it for so many different things. You could always start in the office, buy some sessions, and then, down the road, just get a machine and then you can use it at home. it's kind of up to you and where your health is and how fast you want to get your body going in the right direction. Um, if you're thinking about owning, you need to understand the difference between devices. So we're going to talk about that in the next video.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
So, what's the real difference of these high and low power devices? I'll kind of break down a few more things for you. One is strength. Gauss, Tesla is how they measure magnetic field. And most magnetic field or PMF generators on the market that you find on Amazon or these companies that do a lot of network marketing that have these PMF devices, they're all low power PMF devices. Okay. They're 1 Gauss, 10 Gauss, 100 Gauss, 1,000 Gauss. I've seen one on Amazon probably up to 8,000 Gauss or so, but it's from China and, you just don't know what it does, how it feels, or if it's, what's going to happen if it breaks. So, um, there's these low power devices that are designed for somebody to use in their home for long periods of time. Okay. So when you have a strong device like ours, it puts out thousands and thousands and thousands of Gauss into the body, you get faster results. Okay. And the PMF can fluctuate the cell membrane. It can fire nerve. It can fire muscle. Um, and you need that kind of Gauss to do that high intensity Gauss. So there is a difference, so if you are doing research on machines and the Gauss is 10 Gauss or milligauss or microteslas or whatever, it is not enough to fire that stuff. If it runs on a battery, probably doesn't fire it muscle at all. These devices partner with frequency therapies, which is sound. So basically, you get these sound waves that go through your body a little bit better because you're in a PMF field that's really, really light. And they deliver frequencies, for sport or immune or health or whatever they want to call these programs. But they're basically just stimulating the receptors on your cells, and some communication will happen. You might get some better circulation, but instant relief, you're not going to see much at all, if any. Penetrating depth um, of low power devices is maybe the thickness of a dime in most machines, and it's just not enough. With our equipment, if I were to lie in a mat and turn it on, the field would go well through my body. An arm's length up and down from the mat would be fields that are strong enough usually to feel. Um, but the field is bouncing off the ceiling and the floor. I mean, it is a huge magnetic field blast that comes out of it. You will feel muscle fire. You will feel, nerve fire if you get it up high enough, and they're definitely penetrating 100% through the body, no matter what intensity you use on our equipment. Even our lowest power device will penetrate the entire body. So, um, you know, but anything else, like I said about the distance of a dime. Um, Treatment time differences, more Gauss, less time. Okay. So when you go to a doctor's office and use it on your shoulder for 10 minutes, plenty of time. Okay. If you buy a home unit of ours and you put that on, you might want to use it for 30 minutes on your shoulder. Okay. A little less Gauss, increase the time. your cells can't tell the difference whether it's 10 minutes at a high intensity or 30 minutes at a medium intensity. So you just at home, you won't have the highest intensity. So you just use it a little bit longer. No big deal. When you get into low power devices that are out there, we're talking hours and hours and hours. Um, I heard once that one pulse of our machines is like using those low power devices for 30 hours. Just one pulse of our machines. Pretty impressive. Um, so low power just it can't replicate clinic results. They're not strong enough, and they tie up too much time in a doctor's office. So a doctor usually doesn't offer them. A doctor can't make any kind of money w- um, or give somebody enough results to justify charging them 50, 100, $200 for a session, if the patient doesn't feel anything. So they just don't do the job that our high intensity machines could do. Safety, I've never heard of anybody getting hurt by our machines. I've heard some people get scared by the pulse. Absolutely, it's strong. It can shoot into your body and hit a sensitive spot that can be a little discomforting. But is it going to hurt you? No. Is it going to shock you? No. Is it going to burn you? No. Um, and you know it's just one of those things where um the only people who shouldn't use it are people who have electronics in their body, so no pacemakers, no implanted medical pumps or ear cochlear implants, things like that that are where a magnetic blast of field could mess up with the electronics. So I don't see any problems with screws and plates and different things that they use now. Um, if it was old plates from like VA hospitals that were just stainless steel, they might warm up a little bit, but nobody's using them long enough to cause them to get hot. Again, I've been doing it over 20 years, and I've never seen anybody injured by these machines. Um, so yeah. So now let's talk about how to choose the right system for you. Okay. Be right back.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
So, what do the doctors use? They use these, super strong PMF generators, lots of Gauss, faster treatments, and they get great results. And that's why you probably watching this video is because a doctor told you about this. So, I always tell people, the credibility is in word of mouth, and people have used our equipment and then are recommending our equipment, and somebody told you. And do all the research you want. Yes, nobody likes to be, you know, uh, feel like they, overpaid for something, or they could have got it somewhere else, or they could have got this knockoff model cheaper and it works just as good. But in my years of doing this, I had doctors buy knockoff equipment. I've had patients buy junk out there, and they break, they don't work, and they end up calling me years later and say I should have bought your unit, and now they got to buy my unit. So they lost, a bunch of money before they decided to buy with me, and so I just tell people now, don't waste your money on that stuff. If you were referred by a doctor to me, I would definitely consider this one of the top options. And then and again, if I could find a product that was better than mine, I would sell it, but I haven't. So just I hope that helps. But, we got tons of different types of clinics: chiropractic, integrative medicine, integrative oncology, people partnering with regenerative medicine, pain centers, wound healing. Uh, I mean, it is just everywhere. Bone healing, pelvic floor, uh, treatments of depression. I mean, PEMF is just all over the place. So um, I hope that that you find these videos credible and the recommendation credible. Uh, so the outcomes is what you're looking for. So what machine, do you need? Um, any of our machines are medical grade. Okay. It's all going to depend on strength. Okay. It's going to depend on what you need strength wise. If you are an athlete and you're trying to break up scar tissue, I'd probably stick with our Clinic Pros or higher. If that's not the case, then our Regenitron Jumpstart for cell charge, for feeling, the energy go through you, for the size of it, the weight of it, the price of it. It's plenty of machine for most people. Okay. I do have some that are less expensive, but you don't feel those. But they're designed for people who can't sleep. They're designed for people that are doing some stuff with their brain. Um, and I it's a very specific patient or client that needs those. So um, you know, the jump start is pretty much the machine for most people. And then if you have the budget for something stronger, I have the Clinic Pros or better. If you want something very comparable to what your doctor has, that kind of strength, maybe you're going to work on people yourself and how maybe you have a whole bunch of horses in the barn or whatever. We do have a machine that's not as quite as strong as the strongest, and then we have our strongest available too. You can buy the exact same one the doctor has in his office if you like also. So we will, kind of usually talk on the phone and decide which one. Or you can start with the jump start and, just see how powerful our machines are, even at the smallest machine that we have that you can feel. So, um, let's talk about a little bit of safety in the next video, and we'll go from there.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
Right. Everybody wants to know the contraindications. Okay. So, no pacemakers. Okay. We do not want people with pacemakers using these. We don't want the electronics to fail. We don't want the pacemaker to stop, start, reset, burn out, explode. I don't know. We don't want anything to happen to those pacemakers. So we just don't recommend it. You can talk to me individually about some of the things that people do that have called me regarding pacemakers, but we just don't want people in the field with a pacemaker. Pregnancy, we don't take the risk. It's a miracle in itself. Why bother? Let's just let Mother Nature handle that part. Worked on infants as young as maybe 3 months old. There's rapid cells development happening, and let's just leave it alone unless we have to. So if the baby has an issue, then partner with who a doctor or with you can ask some questions of myself. I'll try to help, but basically 3 months or older, you're gonna be fine. Um, People with seizures. I have a lot of people with epilepsy use our machine and they use it to calm their nervous system. So I have never seen anybody have a seizure because of this PMF. And you know, in my opinion, I think it helps them more than hurts them. Um, as far as like paperwork, we have release forms that are on my website. You can download and you can have people sign. If you're going to be using your machine and you're worried about somebody using it and getting hurt, you can have them sign a release form and you keep that on file. Um, I am more concerned with release forms because of what people will leave in their pockets. It's usually their car keys. Um, or some sort of electronic. And if you are, using the ring around your hips and you left your car key in there, and then all of a sudden you say goodbye to them, have a great day, and they go out to their car and their car doesn't start. And then they have to call a tow truck, and then that gets towed to the dealer, and they say, "Oh, the key got fried," and they're like, "Oh, that machine fried my key." And then they come back and they want you to pay for the tow truck and the new key, and nah. So if I have them sign a release form saying that to take all their electronics away from them, then I could pull out that form and say, I told you not to have your electronics on you." So that's just kind of where doctors and individuals will use these release forms for those reasons. But it also says, we don't treat, we don't, diagnose, we don't cure, we don't do anything like that. And it's also good to do that because a lot of people think that you're treating them with something, and you're not. You're basically just letting them use your machine for 15, 20, 30, 40 minutes, an hour. And if they get better, it's not your fault. If they get worse, it's not your fault. Um, the release forms are there for you to use these with some peace of mind. Again, I've never had anybody come to me and say that my machine has hurt them, and I've been doing this over 20 years. So, um, just my experience. As far as buying a machine, the process is very simple. So I'll go through that process next. Be right back.
You're listening to the Feel the PMF podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back after this.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.
All right. Most doctors that have recommended you prefer you to buy a machine through me, through feelthepmf.com. You can call, place an order. I have some online ordering links that you can order it also. It's super easy. You send you an invoice online, you pay it online. Once the order's in, we're going to get you an update on stock levels. We'll get you some time frames. As soon as the machine is on the dock and ready to ship to you, we will send you a tracking number. The machine will come signature required. So somebody over the age of 18 has to be there to sign for it. Once they have um, um, the machine ships, you'll get the tracking number. You'll make sure somebody's home. When it gets delivered, we'll get notified. I'll communicate with you to see if there's any questions. I do have some videos to how to operate the machine, what each button does, and how to turn it on, and how to plug it in, and all that good stuff. So you're not alone. Once you get the machine, you can watch those videos. You can call, you can text, but there's videos there for you. Then, people always ask about protocols and things like that. When we are a medical device company, we can't write a protocol for everything because you have to have a FDA cleared device for a certain treatment of something. So we can't just write a protocol for everything that you do because then the FDA thinks that we are treating people and we are not treating people. Okay. So there are some generic protocols for different symptoms, but nothing is set in stone. It's very easy if you stick to the guidelines in this, you'll be fine. You can tweak it however you like. If you want specific things, you can ask. We are here for you. I'm here for you. The doctor that sent you this video is probably here for you too. So we can help you with all that stuff. So don't feel like it's a difficult machine to use or how should you use it. Things like nope, it's point and shoot and do it as much as you can. And if it's too much, just back off, stay hydrated, and you're gonna be fine. So uh, but the purchasing is very simple to do. So if you're ready to do that, um, please get in touch with the doctor, or you can go to feelthepmf.com. You can send me a message. You can shop online. You can call, and I can walk you through or get you over an electronic invoice. So the next part is up to you. If you have any questions beyond that, please shoot an email, send a text. I'd love to hear from you. And we hope that you are going to meet your health goals and feel good and continue to thrive. And thanks for your time and thanks for watching these videos.
Thanks for tuning in to the Feel the PMF podcast. I truly appreciate my guests for sharing their insights, and I hope you picked up something valuable today. When you're ready, explore PMF technology for yourself. To learn more, visit feelthepmf.com.
PEMF isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything, and these statements haven't been reviewed by the FDA. Always check with your doctor before trying it, especially if you're pregnant or have implanted medical devices. This is for information only, so please make your own informed decisions.